Okay. Let me get my phone so I can look at full schedule. Okay. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Okay. How are you doing?
Great.
What have you accomplished? I know you kind of said a little bit. What have you accomplished since our last lesson?
I have reviewed Princess and the Cinderella one.
Okay.
And I can tell you where my problem spots are going to be in Princess already.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't remember what they are, but
that's totally fine. We'll go over that in a little bit
it's the
later.
1, 2, down 3, up 1 part.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean a lot right now since I don't remember where it is. Well, great. Okay, I know that they have a problem spot, and I know that it happens twice. And then I also touched on a Cinderella Lovely Night because it was the shortest.
Okay, cool. How was your Thanksgiving break?
Needed. It was good. But now we have to finish the semester, so that's fine.
Yep. I just wanted to kind of remind you of last week. We had that kind of like breakthrough with the dropping sensation of the breath or whatever. Did you try using that at all whenever you were learning the music, or if not?
Probably not actively, but I'm sure that something clicked somewhere.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start off by...
Oh, this part. Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite.
Yeah.
That happens twice in the song, and I will watch it. Okay, good talk.
Okay, cool. We'll work on that at the end whenever we get to... after we do some tech work. Mm-hmm. So first we're just going to do some stretches, like kind of what we did last week. Just hang down from the waist. Hang down from the waist and just kind of feeling where like the tension is and where your tendency is to grab. And whenever we do it, we're going to do like some noises too. So just kind of lean over, shake out your neck a little bit. Do you feel like the tendency to grab anywhere or?
The lower end of between my shoulder blades.
Okay. Just kind of squeeze everything and then release it. Squeeze and release. And then slowly roll up. And then just do some neck rolls. And then just roll your shoulders back and kind of all that tension that
builds up.
Yeah.
Because it's finals.
Yeah.
Kill me.
And I just kind of do, for the last one, just kind of make sure it's going back so that way we really kind of get our posture in line and stuff. Because whenever we do shoulder rolls, sometimes when we come forward, then our whole body comes forward. Okay. So just making sure if you do shoulder rolls to end going backwards. So that way you can stay kind of in that position when we move on to doing some more singing. Also, I was going to recommend that you record the lesson maybe with your phone, so that way you can listen back later and you can also like have some good warm-ups for whenever you're kind of just working and practicing on your own, then you can listen back and use those warm-ups.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, a lot of times whenever you record a lesson, you will go back and listen to something that you did in your lesson, like for example, the dropping thing, like you'll go back and listen and you'll be like, wow, like that was so drastic, I didn't even realize like what a big difference that made. So that can be helpful too, is realizing what you're actually doing in the lessons instead of just doing them in the lesson.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off by we're just gonna hum on an kind of going up the scale. And I want you to really focus on keeping the breath relaxed and kind of letting it just like flow very freely. And also remember what we discussed last week about kind of the warm chocolatey tones and like the and that kind of sensation, and making the singing as close to that sensation of the as you possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just going to start with some of that. Just going. I want you to really slide in between the pitches as you're doing it too, to really like focus the breath.
Okay.
Sliding more. Can you do the so do the noise and then do the exercise. And there should be no break between doing the noise and the exercise, because that break is where we change things.
Okay.
So the goal of this exercise is to really make the noise as much like the singing is, or no, make the singing as much like the noise as we can.
Cool, okay.
We'll start right here. Yeah, just go. Okay. Yeah. And what I kind of noticed too, whenever you're doing this, is you do have kind of the same tendency that I do, which is even on the noise, what you're starting to do is you're starting to think of the singing on the noise instead of thinking of just making the noise. You're wanting to like place it on the pitches.
Yeah.
So even the noise is kind of like very controlled in a sense, which I have a feeling that's the kind of person you are in general, is you're
Yes.
you like everything to be like very controlled. You don't like just kind of letting go.
You are right.
Yeah, and I can tell, because I mean I do the same thing. I like it all to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the goal when you're doing this exercise in this practice and also in your own free time is going to be really just being free with it and kind of almost like having fun with it, instead of thinking of it so much as an exercise. Think of it more as like a I don't know, like think of it more like fun, like like letting it go and letting it be free. I even maybe encourage, we're gonna keep doing this exercise just a little bit more, because I think if we can get it released, it's gonna help a lot. And I want you to think of what we did last week with the dropping of the breath, and try thinking of that as we're doing this exercise, to see if we can kind of connect the two, because I think last week whenever you really dropped your breath, it really helped let it be free as well.
Right, okay.
So we're going to keep doing this exercise. I want you to keep thinking of the noise, but this time I want you to think more about the breath, and if you need to, even just like do the movement that we did last week, with just kind of
Cool.
Alright. We'll start a little higher. We'll start here, okay? Drop even more. Good. Keep doing the movement. Yeah. Because I think after a while you even start to control the movement.
I do.
Even.
And I hate how it feels on my lips, so like, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, we will go ahead and move on from that, but I do think that would be a good exercise for you to try doing in your own time, and especially whenever you're in a practice room by yourself, it's a lot easier, I think, to really, like, let go and have fun. And my voice teacher tells me all the time that, singing isn't this thing that we have to, like, adhere to. We can have fun with it, and we can play around with it, and, I'm kind of the worst, and I'm a hypocrite for even saying this, but, feel free to go to the practice room and just have fun with it instead of making it a, this is me hitting the pitch. You know what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next exercise. This one is a little bit different than anything we've done before, but it's kind of the same idea of making the singing like the noise. So what I want you to do is you're going to start off by saying hey on pitch. So it'll be like, hey, hey.
Okay.
And I really, really, really want you to focus on the sound of the hey. So like, hey, hey. You know what I mean?
Yes, but also I don't know if I'll do well.
If that's totally fine. If you don't do well, that's totally fine too. Just allow yourself to totally mess it up and fail miserably. But like really just go for the hey. Go for that. We'll start a little bit lower because I know that it's a little bit weird to be like, hey. So we'll start with hey. 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 That was good.
Great.
That was really good. You know, I really like that because you really went for it, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but I think that if we had just started with the hey, I think it would have been a little bit more to yourself.
Okay.
Instead of, I think doing the hey really helped you, like, get it out.
Okay.
Get it out, and it was a lot louder, too. I don't like using the word louder, but it was, like, much more resonant, I think.
Okay.
So let's try that again, and we're gonna keep doing it.
Cool.
Hey! 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 Good.
Dope.
That was cool. No, that was really cool because, like I said, I think if we had just started with the hey, I think it would have been a lot more to yourself. But that really kind of helped you get it out, and
That's
you
awesome.
didn't fail at all. That was awesome. It sounded great. You sounded really like resonant and really on your voice. So that I think is going to be a good exercise for you going forward because that was really cool. And like I said, so many of these exercises are really about making the singing like the noise, and I think that's something that we all struggle with is putting singing in its own little box and being like, this is my singing voice, this is my speaking voice. When in reality, there are a lot of similarities between them, and whenever we make the singing more like the noise, then it's so much bigger than you even know that you have in you. Like that right there, like that even amazed me because I was like, wow, like that was probably the loudest I think the most resonant I've ever heard you sing.
That was dope.
That was really cool. Okay, so we're gonna do an exercise that we did, the one that we did last in our last lesson whenever we kind of discovered the whole breathing and dropping
Okay.
sensation, and what that was the and I remember last time I had to tell you to really think of the spread E and the really
Yes.
ugly, nasty E. So I want you to keep thinking that, and I'm hoping that we can maybe get back to that place that we were during the last lesson whenever you really got on your breath.
Okay.
So we're going to start here, and we're just going to do the E. Make it as ugly and nasty as you can. instead of, because I know right now you're really thinking of the spread E.
Yeah.
So now I want you to focus more on the drop. So focus less on the E, more on doing the drop. Do the movement again. Remember that if we control the movement, then we control the sound.
Okay.
They kind of work together. So it really just make the movement as free as you can. Don't get into the habit of like controlling the movement. If you know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I do the same thing. So
That's great.
we're gonna start work from here and just really think of that dropping. Really let it drop. Okay, you're starting to control it a little bit. You're getting scared of those high notes. I know how it goes. Look away from the piano. High notes are not a thing. It's the exact same as when you're singing the hey kind of thing.
Okay.
Because your voice is really, it's the same no matter where you go. And I know you can hit these high notes because you did it last time.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. We'll start from here. Do whatever you can to really get on your body and feel that sensation of your belly dropping and the breath dropping.
Okay.
Starting to control it a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I want you to make it even more dramatic. The pull, the push. I want you to make it even more dramatic because you're starting to kind of let it get a little bit inside of you.
Okay.
I want you to really just let your arms just kind of flail out.
Okay.
You're totally good. It's totally good. It's a process. We will start from here. Good. Good. That was a lot better.
I like that.
Yeah. It's because you really want to control it. You really want to. So you really kind of have to go against what your mind is telling you, because your mind is telling you, I can't do it, I'm gonna crack, I'm not gonna hit this high note, and it's like, you cracked like once, and it was like on the first one, but then you went up to a C, and you were just fine. So,
Good.
okay, yeah, that was really good. Okay, now we need to work on, some music, so let me see, Princess, and see if we can help you with that one part
I am also, yeah.
that you were having some difficulty with.
Your computer died.
Okay. No, it's not. It's still on.
Just kidding.
It's just out. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
You know?
Yes, that,
Oh, right.
it's that, and I don't know what it is, but it's not easy.
Okay, so, I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. And this part too, it doesn't really say in there, but there's a little bit of some room for freedom in this. It doesn't necessarily. This is a part where you would tell your pianist just to like just to really follow you because you can take some more liberties on this part. And you can include like some breaths and stuff like that. But I assume it's the rhythm specifically that you're having trouble with.
Yeah, and remembering to follow the notes.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to try to just sing through it a little bit and I can play it with you?
Sure, yes.
Or do you want me to just play it for you a couple of times? As best I can with my
Let's
horrible
go for
piano
it.
knowledge? You want to just go for it?
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot play piano worth the crap,
Don't even
but,
stress.
you know, I think that's right before you come in. Right there. There we go. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment. Sorry, so
No, it's okay.
my bad. Let's start from here
Far
again.
better than I am, it's okay.
I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. And just whenever you get to this part, make sure that you notice that those are quarter notes.
Okay.
Because up until this, it's a little bit like weird rhythmically, but also it'll help to kind of. And I know whenever I worked on this piece, it helped to kind of think of this part as more speaking.
Okay.
I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. So it can be a little bit more speaky, kind of. That's kind of the overall vibe that it's going for this. I know whenever you're just looking at the rhythms, it looks confusing and it doesn't sound right, but once you put it together, it makes sense rhythmically with how it falls. So let's just try that again. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a dog
on fly shit.
So
Okay,
sorry,
great.
I'm like totally hitting wrong notes.
That's
Okay,
okay.
Let's try it one more time.
Okay.
And I'll try not to play it because I think my playing is screwing you up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna play it and I want you to try it and we'll see where we're getting off. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. So this part right here is where you're getting off.
Okay.
I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. That's the part where you got a little bit off. Is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. Other than that, your rhythm was right.
Thank you.
Yeah, but your rhythm was perfect. So let's try that one more time.
From this.
Yeah,
Great.
just from here. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. Perfect.
Great.
That was exactly it. Okay, now I want you to do it again, and I'm going to give you a little bit of, I want you to really think of it more speaky,
Okay.
and less singy, because this part really is just her really just kind of talking.
Okay.
And so, I don't want you to talk it, but I want you to think that you're speaking it on pitch almost. Like, I want you to really over-exaggerate the speaking, because I think that's going to help a little bit. So let's try that again. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. Good. Can we start from sit outside? And I want you to do the hey, sit outside the pub.
Yeah.
And try that. So I want you to go hey, and then just start from right there. Hey.
Okay, wait. Hey,
sit outside the Perfect.
That makes more sense.
That was good. So I think this part is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm not going to, because that right there is kind of belting a little bit. This part's going to, I think, you really kind of want to make the switch right about there.
Okay.
And also, I would suggest that you breathe, sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite.
Makes sense.
So give yourself a little bit of a break to, and also you can use it as kind of an acting tool too, like sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. Yeah, so maybe make it kind of an acting choice. Let's try it again from right here, and I just want you to really think of that hey whenever you're getting here. You don't need to, you don't have to stop and do it, but just really think of that because that helped you a lot.
Okay.
I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a part you're just going to want to go over, and this will be helpful for your recording too, to just listen back and know it's I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just going to be something that you just need to kind of go over a few times to really get inside of your head. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
And I want you to do the breath thing that we just worked on with the E. So forget about the hey. We're going to kind of just transition and do the dropping sensation. I'm from Roscommon, where the major entertainment is to sit outside the pub and watch a fly on dog shite. Good.
That felt better.
That sounded a lot better too. Perfect. Okay. This is coming along really well. I think.
Yay.
Yeah. Just keep working on it, and I think next time we'll try to maybe sing through it a little bit.
Okay.
I can't play piano for the life of me.
I can't either, so we're on a good team.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. And then your homework. If you get the chance, if you could listen back to the lesson and maybe just tonight or tomorrow at some point. If not, that's totally fine. But if you do get the chance, just listen back and just like jot down some notes of things you hear. Specifically, whenever we were doing those exercises and whenever we were changing the intention or I gave you a new direction, just listen and see if you notice anything that you didn't notice whenever we were doing it. And if so, just write it down really quick and just bring it with you.
Cool.
So that way we can just discuss it a little bit. And my voice teacher makes me do it all the time because a lot of times we don't really notice the difference whenever we're doing it. But then whenever we listen back, we're like, wow, like I didn't realize what a difference that made.
Gotcha.
And then it helps us even more to be like, wow, I want to keep doing that. Because it's like, whenever you can hear the difference for yourself, it's like, wow, then you're going to want to keep doing it. And if you do that, then we'll kind of just discuss that a little bit. And also, maybe on your way over tomorrow or whatever, just try doing like a little bit of warm-ups, just doing some like, stuff like that. Just to kind of start getting you warmed up, because next time, or tomorrow, I guess, whenever we meet, I'd like to, if possible, work a little bit more on the pieces specifically.
Okay.
So if you can warm up just a little bit, so that way we have a little bit more time to work on those.
Absolutely.
Then that would be good. And that is our time. So
Good job.
perfect. Cool. My computer did not die. It's at 5%, so
You made it.
we made it.